During a family dinner with my son and his wife, where we finally made peace after years of silence, I received a text message from an unknown number. "Get up and go now. Don't say anything to your son." I decided to listen and learned the terrible truth which made my hair stand on end. 30 minutes later, the police were knocking on their door. You won't believe what happened next. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you are listening from in the comments. The dish soap bubbles clung to my weathered hands as I scrubbed Eleanor's favorite coffee mug for the third time this week. Same routine every evening. One plate, one fork, one cup. Another solitary dinner. The kitchen felt cavernous without her humming while she cooked, without her gentle scolding about newspapers scattered across the table. I dried the mug carefully and placed it in the rack where it always sat, like a shrine to better days. The refrigerator hummed its lonely tune, decorated with faded photos held by mismatched magnets. My eyes found the picture of David at his high school graduation, 17 years old, grinning in his cap and gown, Eleanor's arm wrapped around his shoulders, before the arguments, before the money, before the silence. The phone's shrill ring cut through my thoughts. My wet hands fumbled for the dish towel as the wall-mounted receiver kept demanding attention. The caller ID made my breath catch. David. A year of silence stretched between us like an ocean. The last time we'd spoken, he'd stormed out after I refused to loan him money for another sure-thing investment. Eleanor would have handled it better. She always knew the right words. "Hello?" My voice came out rougher than I intended. "Dad." David's voice carried that same uncertain tone from childhood when he'd broken something expensive. "It's me." I gripped the phone tighter, heart hammering. "David, I wasn't expecting—" "I know. It's been too long. Emma and we've been talking. We realized how much we miss you. We miss family." The word hung in the air, family. Something we'd once been before pride and money built walls between us. "I miss it too," I admitted, surprised by my own honesty. "Dad, would you consider coming for dinner tonight? Emma's making that pot roast you always loved. We could talk, really talk, like we used to." "Tonight?" My voice betrayed my shock. "I know it's short notice, but Emma's already started cooking. We don't want to waste any more time." Something in his voice tugged at my heart. That childhood vulnerability when he was small and afraid of thunderstorms. Maybe Eleanor had been right. Families find their way back, given time. "What time?" I heard myself say. 7:30. I'll text you the address. We moved to Westfield last year." Westfield, expensive territory. But David had always been ambitious. "I'll be there," I said. "Thank you for giving us another chance, Dad." After I hung up, I stood holding the family wedding photo. David, Emma, Eleanor, and me 5 years ago, before everything went wrong. Eleanor smiled up at me as if whispering, "It's time, Thomas. It's time to come home." Upstairs, I found the navy suit Eleanor had bought for David's graduation. It still fit, though a little looser. I shaved, splashed on aftershave, and selected a bottle of aged whiskey as a peace offering. David's text arrived. 247 Oak Ridge Lane, Westfield. "Can't wait to see you, Dad." The Uber ride took me from familiar Brooklyn brownstones to manicured New Jersey suburbs, then to mansions that looked like movie sets. The driver whistled as we stopped before stone columns and a fountain. Beautiful place. My polished but worn shoes clicked up the path. Before I could ring the bell, The oak door swung open. A middle-aged Hispanic woman in a crisp black dress greeted me with kind but troubled eyes. "Mr. Carter, I'm Sophia. Mr. David and Mrs. Emma are so excited." The foyer stole my breath. Marble floors, crystal chandelier, fresh flowers. David appeared looking like a magazine ad. Perfect suit, perfect teeth, desperate hug. Emma glided forward in silk and diamonds, kissing my cheek with practiced warmth. "You look wonderful, Thomas. We're so happy you're here." The house was staggering. "Real estate?" I asked. "Lucky timing," David laughed, too bright. Emma took my arm. "Come, dinner's almost ready." Sophia took my coat with another of those fleeting, worried glances and vanished. David accepted the whiskey like it was treasure. "Dad, this is fantastic." Emma beamed. "Family takes care of family. That's what matters most." The dining room was set for royalty. Mahogany table, bone china, multiple forks. David seated me at the head, Emma to my left, himself to my right, both positioned to watch my every move. Sophia served delicate appetizers. David poured generous whiskey. "To family," Emma toasted. "To forgiveness and fresh starts." "To Eleanor," David added, voice catching. "She'd want us together." The whiskey burned sweetly. They asked about the restaurants I'd built from nothing with Eleanor. 7 locations now. David refilled my glass before I noticed it empty. Emma asked about retirement, succession planning, oddly specific questions. The room grew warmer, my head lighter than 2 glasses should allow. Sophia's hands trembled, serving the pot roast that tasted exactly like Eleanor's recipe. How had Emma known? Conversation flowed, but their curiosity felt intense, almost professional. David checked his watch when he thought I wasn't looking. Emma tracked my glass like a hawk. I reached for my phone to show them photos of the new Queen's location when it vibrated. "Unknown number." The message appeared in stark capitals. "Stand up and leave now. Say nothing to your son." My blood froze. The dining room tilted. I read it again. Same urgent command. "Everything all right?" David asked, leaning forward too quickly. "Just the night manager," I lied, slipping the phone away. "Rich food hitting me. May I use the bathroom?" "Second door on the left," David said. "We'll wait. Sophia's bringing dessert." I stood carefully. The floor swayed, and instead of turning left, instinct drove me straight toward the kitchen. Sophia stood at the sink, back turned, shoulders rigid. The back door opened silently onto perfect lawn and a gate to the street. I slipped through, heart pounding, requested an Uber 1 block away, and walked fast across dew-slick grass. 5 minutes later, I was in the back seat heading to Brooklyn when I dialed the unknown number. It rang twice. A careful, gender-neutral voice answered. "I hoped you'd call." "Who is this? Why did you warn me?" "I cannot reveal myself, but you were in immediate danger tonight." "That's impossible. I was having dinner with my son." A pause. "Your son owes $2.3 million to people who break bones for late payment. He has 11 days left." I gripped the phone until my knuckles whitened. "He lives in a mansion. Everything mortgaged to the hilt to feed gambling debts, underground casinos, loan sharks. Tonight they plan to drug you with zetroleum dissolved in the whiskey you kindly brought. It multiplies alcohol effects 5-fold, creates memory gaps, makes you highly suggestible. Legal documents were ready. Complete transfer of your 7 restaurants, power of attorney, everything. Only your signature was missing. The dizziness, the refilled glasses, the pointed questions, all of it slammed into place. How do you know this? That doesn't matter. What matters is you escaped before signing. They'll realize you're gone soon. Protect yourself. Change locks. Alert lawyers. Move assets. The call ended. 3 missed calls from David lit my screen. I deleted his frantic text without replying. Then Eleanor's voice whispered in my memory, "When someone warns you of danger, listen first. Ask questions later." I looked at her photo in my wallet, edges soft from years of handling, and told the driver, "Change of plans. We're going back, but first I need to call 911. 20 minutes later, 2 unmarked police cars met us near the mansion. I walked up the driveway while officers waited out of sight. The doorbell chimed like a death knell. David yanked the door open, relief and suspicion warring on his face. "Dad, where have you been? We were worried sick." "Needed air, felt dizzy, beautiful neighborhood, walked farther than I meant." Emma appeared, perfect mask, cracking. "You scared us, Thomas." "Just need to sit," I said mildly, and walked back to the dining room. They exchanged panicked glances, but followed. The table had been hastily cleared of certain papers. I settled into my chair again. David moved to the liquor cabinet. "One more toast, now you're feeling better?" He poured. My glass significantly fuller, tiny particles swirling when it caught the chandelier light. I began talking about the day David was born, refusing to drink, drawing the story out while their desperation grew visible. Emma's fingers dug into my shoulders. "Please, Thomas, the whiskey's getting warm." "Patience," I smiled. "Some things can't be rushed." 3 authoritative knocks shook the front door. "Police, open up!" David's glass shattered on marble. Officers streamed in. "David Carter, you are under arrest for attempted poisoning, conspiracy to commit fraud, and elder abuse." Handcuffs clicked. Emma screamed denials. I held up the untouched glass. "That sediment is zetraline. My son added it moments ago." The officer bagged the glass as evidence. David slumped. "Dad, the loan sharks will kill me. I had no choice." "You had every choice," I said quietly. "You chose to drug your own father." Emma tried blaming David. David tried blaming the sharks. Neither accepted responsibility. Later at the station, Detective Morales confirmed the prepared documents, the zetraline, the gambling records, everything. David faced 15 to 20 years. Emma slightly less if she cooperated. Through the glass, I watched my son pace his cell, then slump, head in hands, begging through the barrier for forgiveness I could no longer give. On the way out, I called the warning number again. "This is Sophia," the warm voice answered, no longer disguised. "Sophia, you saved my life." "I couldn't let them hurt you, Mr. Carter. You treated me like a person." "Sophia, I own 7 restaurants. I need a manager I can trust with my life. Someone who does the right thing when no one is watching. The job is yours if you want it. $60,000 to start. Benefits, profit share after a year." She cried. I cried. We arranged for her to start Monday. Back in Brooklyn, I removed David's photos from the refrigerator, left Eleanor's smiling in place, and wrote on my calendar, Sophia, 10 a.m., Monday, new beginning. Justice had been served not by family, but by a stranger who chose decency over fear. Eleanor would have loved her proud. If you like this story, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. To listen to the next story, click the box on the left. Thank you for watching.